Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome yet again to another episode, the other half of Women in Business. Special thanks go out to Kampala Serena Hotel for this beautiful space. Come to them for quality dining, accommodation, and all other hotel services. Please come to Kampala Serena Hotel. With me, I still have Mrs. Fiona Wall, and we're still talking about those particular legalities that women in business should be keen about. We have spoken about the necessity of having all the documents.
And formalize,
the formalities, formalize no matter how it started.
And don't take for granted people's gifts.
Don't
you know, sometimes the men's motives are also in question.
Yes.
You know, you will get a friend who's a friend, you're not even dating, you know, and he'll give you capital, and he'll tell you, I'm gifting you money, I'm helping you.
Yes.
And then he maybe starts making advances. Yeah. So women, be very shrewd. Yes. Because not because every man has that motive, but be very clear. What is the motive? Yeah. Are you giving me this money as a friend? But yes, if you give me this money as a friend, I have to remember that this is someone's money, and that things are not for free. So
I think it's important to have this conversation
about accepting gifts.
It's important to have. I know a woman out there may be saying,
we women keep telling our little student girls not to take gifts from men, but we are taking gifts from men.
A woman out there may be saying, this is my friend. How do I need the money? He knows I need the money. How do I refuse it? Yes, we must have these candid conversations.
Yes, you need the money, but what I'm saying is protect yourself. Yeah. If you know that you're taking this man's money and he's in the least way interested in you, you are lying to yourself. And you're cheating that man.
There's nothing
if you
for
think
nothing.
You're just going to take that money and nothing happens. That's just, we need to have these conversations as women. But if you have decided to take the man's money, then have a plan of paying it back. So that in 2 years when he turns around and starts saying, you say, no, by the way, you helped me so much. Here is your money back. And I want to, women will never get proper respect for men when it comes to investments unless we respect ourselves. There's a man you will give money. A man will give his friend money. But that man will know that anytime I go to this man for money, he'll give me. You understand? Men have those arrangements and they understand them and they respect them. But we women, you
tend to think we're always on the receiving
end. So this guy gives you capital or some money to start a business or to solve a problem. Then the next time you guys have lunch, you want him to pay that bill. When you want to go and bury your friend in Chinamkaka or whatever, you want him to drive you. You don't even contribute to the fuel. So we need to understand to respect ourselves, to create professional relationships.
Please talk to the woman.
Yes,
to the woman
we need to
out
create
there.
professional relationships. We need to respect people. We need to have mutual benefit. Now, people in the business world have mutual benefit. The reason men want to sleep with you is because they get nothing else from you. When he meets you for lunch, he's paying for it.
That's blunt.
When he
that is blunt.
He will respect another man because he knows that man will have his back this side.
Yes.
That man, they will do business together. That man will go and hunt a deal and ask him to do it with him. So what value are you bringing
to the table?
And that's why I want women to skill themselves, to build themselves, so that when you enter the boardroom, you're at the same level. They will make you make their tea because they don't think you have anything else to offer. So, and I'm sorry that if women feel I'm demeaning them, but men will feel that we don't have anything else to offer because we are not actually offering anything. But if there's something else on the table, you can negotiate. I know women who walk into boardrooms and men stand up because they respect you. Let me tell you, a man will do anything for you if you have something to give him. And I've seen it happen. I've seen a man get 20 million and give it to another man.
But not his.
But he cannot give it to his wife because maybe he doesn't know what value is going to get from there. But now what I was talking about, being faithful in the little, as you build a relationship with your spouse, and you know that maybe he's going to invest in you or whatever, you need to understand that when he gave you Senteze Kameza 10K, how did you use it? Yeah. Then one day he wakes up and puts a 50K. Sometimes those are tests.
Really?
But if you use the 10K in the same way you use the 50K, he's like,
there's no difference.
This lady is,
There's no difference.
Exactly, there's no difference. Yes. So he will look at you and say, I'd rather just be putting 10K. But if you put 10K, he gives you 50K, and then you say, by the way, I saved the other 40K for the times you might not have Kameza money. Yeah. He will even put 100 because he knows there's a plan and he's part of it. When he gets into business, he will trust you. He will trust that you're not going to use whatever you get. Because trust is not that I know everything about you. Trust is knowing that whatever I don't know about you will not harm me.
Let's have some insight. Yeah. There was a particular discussion about this Senteze Kameza, yes? And I remember a particular feminist coming up and saying this is one of the ways in which the woman is being disrespected.
I disagree. I'm a feminist, but I disagree.
Yes.
I think that we have roles. I think that, and I'm a Christian, and if the man is the head of the home,
his role is to provide.
He's supposed to provide. You know, long ago in African tradition, we picked men for their muscles because the head of the home was one who would hunt and bring meat home. He was one who would provide security physically. Yeah. Now, their muscle has to be their money, their ability to look after my children, to provide for this, to do that, and he has to be industrious. Yeah. Now, the woman is our job, our primary role is to manage. We are managers. To manage the home, to nurture children, to raise them, and
add value.
Yes.
Add value.
But now, sometimes, unfortunately, we want to be like a man. You want to go and hunt and what. But you see, while you're hunting, who's looking after your children? So we have to be very careful to remember that if we decide to go and hunt, we have to balance these roles that we have this side. But also, once you decide that you're getting into a marriage, the marriage cannot have two men, neither can it have two women. Yeah. Okay, I know that in other jurisdictions these things are okay, but I'm talking about
Ugandan context.
Roles. I know families where the woman has gotten a big job and they've had to travel, and the man has decided, I will be at home and look after the children because you are doing that role, because they recognize that there are two roles that have to be played, and he's not becoming a woman in that way. They have exchanged roles.
Now, keeping in mind,
but it doesn't take respect away from them.
Keeping in mind these gendered roles, yes, and the fluidity right now.
Yes, there's fluidity right now.
Because that's the
reality.
Muscle
is money, and anyone can get money.
Exactly. Yes. Now, keeping in mind this fluidity, that is getting more and more paramount. Because more and more actually getting to it, you have so many stay-at-home dads coming up.
Yeah,
and
that's
true. At the end of the day, it's who is bringing in more money. Yes? Who is bringing in more money? That
actually,
is needed.
No, that's not true. I disagree with that. Because in a marriage, it's about contribution. Yeah. What do you contribute? We have many things to do. We have children to raise, and we have to raise them together. Yeah. It's not anyone's particular role. We have food to bring to the table. We have education, we have all these other responsibilities. So we have 5 roles maybe in a basket. We have to all see what do we bring to the table. And women need to remember that just because you bring money does not mean that you abandon your home and your responsibilities. Because when you're doing that, then why are we blaming men who do the same? And men for a long time, unfortunately, have done that. Men have said, if I bring money home, why do I have to come home? Why do I have to spend time with the kids? Why do I have to have supper with you and eat your beans when I could be in Serena eating, you know? Yeah. So men have set a bad precedent. So sometimes you don't blame us women for following that precedent. We have seen how men become very irresponsible with money and power. They marry other women, they mistreat our children, they do things. So these things sometimes are bad habits waiting to happen. So when a woman gets money, she's also like, I can also,
Let me revenge.
But if you are honest about your contribution, if your husband is a present father, nothing can replace that. You should appreciate that contribution. If your wife is a present mother, you should appreciate that contribution. But then if you guys are bringing money to the table and that money is not helping their home, because sometimes women get money, even more money than the man, and they never bring it home. Somehow she wants to keep it for herself, for her makeup, for her things, for her relatives, but it doesn't do anything in the home. Why should the man value such a job? It's competition to him.
But this still boils down to
just the way a woman would resent a man's job if that job is not paying school fees.
Fiona, this boils down to a conflict between the gendered roles, yes, and what the different expectations and the reality. But getting back, to the legalities. Getting back to the legalities, I'm very keen on understanding how, because we all know that these formalities that you're talking about, yes, you have got this particular money.
But do you know the benefit of formalizing?
No. Let's talk about it. You have got this particular money. Yes, it has been given to you. But please be very keen on having a business plan, making sure that the roles are all spelled out. But what I want to find out is, because it's very important, with what attitude is this done? With what attitude is this done? Is it okay, fine? Money is here, okay? Please, Mwami, sit here. Let us sit and talk about, now this is how this money is going to be done. This is my business. Is it our business? Is it business-wise? Is it, the woman out there, I think, needs to know all these nitty-gritties about the attitude. Because you know why? This particular attitude issues were already hinted upon them. Yes? These attitude issues are bringing about increased rates.
Okay, do you know what I would do if I were to advise women? I'd advise them, if you're taking money from your husband, find a way of formalizing it. If he's the kind who will take offense, then maybe approach him with a business partner. Get another partner and get that money together. Then when there are issues of business, that person deals with your husband. When there are issues of home, you deal with your home. Because I find that mixing business and it's not very wise. We need to be wise. That's why I say that once you get that money, because yes, you can't refuse money when it's probably a good source. Once you get that money, I would even say, if you can get money from anywhere, get money from anywhere, bank this one, first put it there and wait a bit and grow your money. Why am I saying this? That money should not come between you. It's not worth your marriage. If you can avoid borrowing capital from your husband, please avoid it.
I don't think.
I just said
that is your personal.
That's my personal.
Yes.
But if you have to borrow it, then know that you will always have a point at which you owe your husband, and at whatever point he decides to collect, please be ready to pay back.
Unless there is a formal agreement, it's treated as a business. Unless that is
if you leave it informal, just know
at any one time.
Yes.
And this is why there was a woman that came up and
because
she
that's
said,
what I have seen.
Yes, but this is why there was a woman that came up and said, you know what, I can never borrow money from my husband for business because it becomes his in one or another. But however, when all these formalities, all these formalities are there and done in such a way that is business-wise, yes, you're not going to have this agreement drafted in bed. Let's be open about it. This is a business agreement.
That's why I said separate the business from you. This agreement will be between the business and your husband as the shareholder or whatever, as a person putting capital. But let's move away from there. I want to say that some of the formalities women need to know about. One, we've given an example of a man giving you money. That's probably, these days it's even rare. We have smile. They don't want to give us money anymore. So let's move to the realities. In order for you to grow your business, you're going to want to attract capital. You're going to want to go to a bank and get a loan. You cannot do that when you're not formal.
True.
You're going to want to go and partner with bigger people. You want to go and get a bid in national water. You have to have a PPDA certificate, you have to have a tax registration, and you have to show you have paid tax, because they'll tell you clearance. You will have to have NSSF. Are your employers? Anyone you have employed, you have to pay NSSF. Now that's what the law says. Anyone that you have paid for salary, you have to pay. So formalize. And these things are small, by the way. They're even thresholds. I think under 250,000 you don't have to pay.
And all this information is actually accessible.
All this information is accessible. But Doreen, why should we bother? Why should you bother going on the internet for 20 hours when you can pay a lawyer maybe 10,000 shillings and they give you this information? You understand? Or you can pay an accountant and they help you with this information. I've told you, men for years and years have prospered because they pay professionals. We saw President Trump and all the trouble he was in with the taxes. But do you know how much he pays his accountants? That's why he's never gotten in jail with all the number of taxes he hadn't paid. So what I'm saying is, get a lawyer, get a professional financial advisor like an accountant. Go to Uganda Investment Authority if you want to export your food. Find out, how do I export? Are there people who are already exporting and I lynch on them? Get those strategic partnerships. Join Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association. Those women have a lot of education and information at their offices. Join private sector foundation. I'm telling you, you'll get to a place where they are looking for women entrepreneurs. And they're not there. I can tell you, I go to places where we are discussing things like governance, we're discussing things like legal issues a company should know. They are all men-led organizations. Women are not looking for this advice. Where are you spending your time? A man will pay for a gym membership because he wants to meet other CEOs and make business. Are we that strategic? Are we looking for the money?
We must be strategic.
We have to be very strategic, create strategic relationships, get business mentors. If you want to do telecom business, go to Miss Abita Ture and say, I want to be mentored. You know, even if I'm sitting in your office,
get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone.
But you also mentioned, yes, you just mentioned a while back about hiring. I remember hiring all these professionals, which I'm not averse to. I remember one woman saying, yes, earlier on in another conversation, and she said that sometimes you just have to be careful because whereas you have the ability to delegate, if you don't have enough information, it's very easy to be fleeced.
Because that's why I'm also saying get information.
Yes, get information.
But
because
get information from the right communities.
Yes, getting a TIN number. URA has made it
it's
so
free of
easy,
charge.
so easy. It's just a click away on your phones, right? But the woman must be able to get out of the comfort zone, her comfort zone, and be able to access all these different aspects of her business.
Now we're talking. All these things, URSB, these days filing returns, it is online.
It is so easy.
You have to embrace technology. You know, women love people to buy them the most current phones, but I really
please say some in the interest of all those.
Okay, some
women.
So I really shudder when I see the most you're using your phone for is Instagram, TikTok, this and that. You need to understand what are the apps that are available. There are these apps that help you save money. There are apps that are you can go on URSB and learn what's happening. You can go on the stock exchange and know which markets can I invest in. You can understand what's happening. You can get news, business news. When they tell you, oh, now the hottest product is coffee. You can decide, let me go back to the village and plant coffee on mommy's land, you know? How do you make your investment decisions? Are they informed by news, or is it so and so prospered in this? I'm also going to do mushrooms in my boys' quarter.
Information is, and you notice that very many Ugandans, yes? We talked about it in the last episode and saying that over 38, yes? Close to 40% of Ugandans have engaged in a form of business. And this has actually been ranked as one of the most entrepreneurial countries, right? But now getting it back to the nitty-gritty.
But do you know that these businesses are not lasting beyond their
We talked all about that, and these aspects keep coming back. And believe me, what we are tackling right now, the sources, the legalities, are you aware of them? Are you keen? Are you actually doing them?
In
They're
fact,
all these.
there's one thing that bothers me with our businesses. When you're looking for capital to grow your business, people go for loans, they go to their husbands for money, or their friends, or their what. But do you know that you can get an equity partner? You can go to PSFU and say, who are the people that want to invest in
this particular
entrepreneurs?
sector.
You know?
Yes.
There is an organization, there are many organizations now that actually, Uganda Development Bank even has money for businesses like that. But you don't have to take loans, because loans have interest and they can be a burden. And also the requirements sometimes for you to be able to borrow are very hard. But if you are a trustworthy person who has grown steadily and you can sell your story, you can get the billionaire in your village and say, ngenda kuwa share 20%, and you do what? You buy in, because you see, if you go to Mukwano, you're making maybe cosmetics. You're making cosmetics, and your cosmetics bring in 5 million a month, and you're doing very well. But if you go to Mukwano and you say, Mukwano, you buy shares. I'll give you 20%. You add me $50,000. When you inject that $50,000, that 5 million a month will turn to 50 million a month.
Can I tell you what some of the women...
So that's how you can
easily... I tell you what some of the
women
women have said? These are opportunities. Even mentorship opportunities are there. And this is why you walk into a room and you'll notice only male-led, businesses. Because one, the woman out there that we do get to approach and talk to says she is a little bit hesitant to come out, because in most cases, those who are seasoned will take away her business from her. That's why she's micromanaging.
No, she has to approach that man who is seasoned with this panel of experts, these mentors. She has to kwebuza on everybody. Because before she goes to Mukwano, maybe there is a Haji in her village who has been mentoring her. Maybe there is a Hajati in her village who has been mentoring her. Maybe the pastor's wife has the similar business and she's mentoring her. Those are your,
and all
those are your people.
Reputable UL, PSFU, all these are always available to give advice.
So what you do is you go to the person, and if Mukwano says yes, Mukwano is going to tell you, talk to my lawyers. Now you please do not go and talk to his lawyers. Get
Alone.
your lawyer to talk to his lawyers.
Don't.
Yes. And once you start from there, then you're going to have a good relationship. You know what's going to happen? Is that you're going to be a fish in a very big sea like this.
Kindly repeat that. People do this. They make that mistake.
When you're in your business alone, your risks are minimal, but also your returns are very, very minimal. So you'll be a small fish in a fish bowl. But if you decide that I am going to go where the shark is, and the shark buys into me, you've seen that program called Shark Tank.
Yes.
Let the shark buy some shares and get some money. Now that shark comes in with so much. Let me give you an example. Let me just give you an example. If you're a local law firm in Uganda, a small law firm, maybe your insurance, we're supposed to have private insurance. Maybe, okay, this is going to be complicated. Let me give another example. If you are a supermarket, if you're a small supermarket here, you're going to have, people will not trust you to supply you. You understand what I'm saying? People will not say, I am going to give her 10 million's worth of goods, then she'll pay me later. You can't get credit because people don't trust you, they don't know you.
They think
you
you're too small.
You're too small. But now if you get Carrefour and you say, I am partnering with Carrefour, I'm going to open a small thing that looks like Carrefour, they will brand, Carrefour is going to take shares, but then they are going to inject. But now with the Carrefour brand, you're going to attract capital. People will even come begging to give you money. You're going to attract credit. People will come and give you stock.
That visibility.
Then the customers are going to come. People will buy your stuff even when it's more expensive. You can even...
Because of the branding.
Exactly. You're going to attract the best staff. People will want to associate with you. So when a shark buys into you, you also benefit from the shark's neighborhood.
But you also have to be careful during that time of negotiation.
Yes.
Yes. And don't go alone.
lawyers. Use advice. Use professional advice. Use mentors. In fact, if you can negotiate, if you know you can't negotiate with Mkwano, before you go to Mkwano, pick the person in your village who recommended you. Yes. Go with them. Yeah. Pay them some money for being the broker of this deal. It's worth it. And I've told women we have to use value. What value do you bring to the table? If this guy is connecting you to a big investor, what are you giving him for it? Pay him for that service. Because if it wasn't for him, you would not get to that investor. True. So let's stop taking things for granted, expecting people to just give us handouts. If it is a business, you have to plant seed in it. Yeah. You cannot harvest what you have not grown.
Okay, taking a recap, okay?
And these are kingdom principles.
Amen. Yeah. We have talked about it, recapping, okay? We have talked about the need. Please, women out there, no matter the source of your money, don't take it for granted. There are no freebies, there are no free things. Please legalize, formalize, come up with agreements. If you are not sure about the source, whether it is your spouse, whether it is a friend, and you feel, you'll need someone to come in, please get someone seasoned that, is mindful, that can come in and please be able to broker this agreement to come to life. But please be very, very cautious about how your business starts. From the very beginning, have clarity. Have clarity so that you know if this person is giving you 2 million, what do they expect? And then you negotiate from the very beginning so that you don't have someone coming in after 1 month and saying, now, I gave you 2 million, can I have 500? They'll keep pulling it out. And guess what? At the end of the day, your business will fail. Another thing, please be mindful about the attitude. Okay? Be very mindful about the attitude. We've had issues about women coming up. Once they get the money, then they become big-headed, quote-unquote, or something like that. If you want respect, treat others with respect.
Absolutely.
Yes? You should be assertive as well, but respect is something that you give.
If you don't treat your business with respect, you will eat it. Yeah. You'll eat your capital. Yeah. You will not invest time in it. Yes. You will not do the right thing. That's when you find out businesses. Sometimes women will run a business according to their mood. When she goes through a hard time, she closes.
Exactly.
So try and, because this business is
remain
something you
consistent.
Can pass on to your children. I'm so proud of women. They're very industrious. They're working. When you go to Chikuwo, half of Chikuwo now is owned by women. Yeah. But I want to see more formalization, because when you formalize, your business will last longer. It will outlast you. Your children can benefit from it. And I want to also say something. Do you have a will?
Please stress this, actually. Stress these things. Apart from credibility.
Do you have a will?
Stress it.
Is it clear that this property is yours and not your husband's? Because we've seen things where the woman dies or the husband dies, and then the other children that are from the other women are coming to claim your shop in Chikuwo.
Yeah, because there was nothing.
Because there was never any clarity of what,
who owns
what. And also, there are things you need to do for your children. If you know your children are not wise enough to inherit your business and do well, build a trust for them. Let the business run itself. Put money in a trust, and then let the trust pay the children a monthly salary.
Sure.
This thing saves you from getting irresponsible children into your business, and then they destroy it. Wow. So there are many things, but what I would say is get advice. You're doing a fantastic job. We celebrate women. I was raised by an entrepreneurial woman who, she was running 5 businesses at the same time at some point, She was running a bakery, she had a salon, and now she's retired, but she got herself set up. Yeah. She worked hard, but she got herself set up. Even now as I speak, I have an inheritance from my mom. She's there. but she has things she can pass on. You know what I mean? Yes. Because she worked hard.
And this is why...
And that is why I am so committed to helping women. But they have to come for the help.
And this is why we continue to celebrate the journeys of women.
Yes.
Make sure that we
I'm the result of an entrepreneurial woman.
And that's amazing. Yes. But just partnerships as well.
Please embrace partnerships, because when you're more, there's better. There's better. Let's stop this competition thing and see how to build partnerships so that we are bigger, we last longer, but we also have a bigger set of skills to bring to the table.
Talking about skills, thank you so much, Fiona Wall. This has been an amazing conversation. We haven't exhausted everything. We're going to have to invite you back. Special thanks also go out to Kampala Serena Hotel. Thank you so much for this venue.
Thank you for having me.
Get in touch with Kampala Serena Hotel for your quality dining, accommodation, and all your conferencing. This has been Women in Business. Kem Chadorine. Meet you next time. Thank you.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel, so visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasan Hotels, luxury redefined.